Hello, this is ATG for February the 27th, and that makes it Theme Week. For this month's Theme Week, we are doing Two Truths and One Lie, where I will tell three stories, and it's up to you to decide which ones are true and which one is the lie. Now, I've got a lot of fanatical stories to tell. They are hard to decipher which may be true and which might be a lie. So let's start off with a story about death. 4 years old, into a heart surgery, I had to go. So anesthesia and all of that took place. I don't like to describe that because it's one of those feelings of, wow, it might occur again and it's scary. So on the operating table there was an error. Well, not really an error, no one messed up, but a complication, if you will. And I told the story that Jesus had come down and approached me and placed on my ankles wings, and he flew me into the skies, where I then met my uncle, who had been dead for 3 years at this point in time. So I spoke with my uncle for a little bit, and he was robed in green, and then he looked at me and goes, "Hey, it's not your time. You need to go home and see your mom." So I started to fall through the clouds, and I saw my body again, and then I'm waking up in the room where I retell the story. Now that is story number one. Is it true or is it false? You must take it as you will. So it's time for story number two, the plane crash. Now, you might already think that I'm pretty unlucky. I've had 12 open heart surgeries. Yeah, and I was in a plane crash. Wasn't a big deal. I was visiting a long distance relationship in Idaho, and on landing, the left gear broke, the landing gear. So there was a heavy immediate left hand tilt where the wing came off, and we slid to a halt. Now, I'm not a really big fan of flying, so I screamed. I probably screamed louder than the little children on the flight. And I am not going to say that's a bad thing, because I'm not very fond of flying. So we slid to a halt, and I got to ride that little ramp out of the plane. I don't know if that's an accomplishment or not. So that's the plane crash. You'll have to decide if it's true or if it's false. On to story number three, the reading of the book. Now that sounds a little more dramatic than it really is. At the beginning of my semester here at the U of A, I read a book by Stephen King, Under the Dome. This is a rather large book. I believe it encompasses around 1,076 pages. Maybe 100 more, maybe 50 less. I really don't feel like pulling the book out and checking. Now, I read this book and enjoyed it very much, but it only took me 4 days. That is encompassing all of the other activities that I had to do on campus before school started, which included riding the buses, because buses are awesome. But 1,000 pages, 4 days. Now that one seems a little odd to tell because it's not amazing. Now, there are two truths hidden in these stories, and then there's one lie. I'll let you decide which one is which. Enjoy your night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. ATG OUT. I would also like to add, Miss Moon, I don't like to think about your age. I apologize for that. But then again, because if I claim that you're old, I am close in coming. I don't want to be old. I feel old. Please don't make me old. You're not old. You can't be that old.